Okay, now that we have become more familiar with adding and subtracting fractions and using either the improper, turning them into improper fractions, or using the commutative property of addition, we are going to look at word problems today. So we're going to write fraction word problems, and we are on page 78. Before we get started on our fraction word problems, the biggest thing that you need to know is to be able to figure out, are my fractions being added or are they being subtracted? So we're going to do a little cheat sheet of words that might help us to decide if the word problem is an addition word problem or a subtraction word problem. Okay, so we're going to write fraction word problem, and then we're going to write key words. Okay, when you're done copying these words down, head on over to the next section. Here are the key words I want you to write down. Words like sum, altogether, combine, increase, that all means that your fractions are being added. Words like find the difference, subtract the two, which one is less than, that is all a subtraction word problem. So copy these down and then head on over to the next page. All right, let's get started. So today I will add and subtract fractions in word problems. Okay, let's write down a word problem together, and then I'm going to show you the steps to tackle it, and then we're going to look at the two different ways that you could go about adding or subtracting the fractions, and then I'll give you one to work on tonight. Okay, so let's say, here's our word problem. Carlos painted 1 4/8 of the bedroom on Monday. On Tuesday, he painted 1 1/8. What fraction of the room did he paint by the end of the two? So remember, with any word problem, you want to think cubes. So you want to go through and make sure you understand what is happening, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is circle some numbers. So I'm going to circle Carlos painted 1 4/8 on Monday. On Tuesday, he painted 1 1/8. Okay, I'm going to underline my question. Okay, and I'm going to box. B stands for box any math words. Well, what fraction of the room did he paint by the end of the 2 days? Okay, that's kind of it. So looking for a fraction. Okay, so what we want to do with a word problem is make a T-chart. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make a T-chart. I was going to put T-chart with known info. So you want to put what you know. So remember, a T-chart is just what it sounds like. T-chart. Okay. So here's what we know. On Monday, Carlos painted 1 4/8. On Tuesday, he painted 1 1/8. Then when we're here, we want to think, are these two numbers being added or subtracted? Well, let's see. What fraction of the room did he paint by the end of the 2 days? So they want you to combine both fractions and figure out by the end of the 2 days how much had he painted. So we are going to what? Add. So we're going to add these two together. That's step 1, just to figure out what you need to do. Okay? Step 2 is to write equation and solve. Okay, here are where our two strategies come into play. You can either do the Dorito method where you change these into improper fractions, or you can do the commutative property of addition where you decompose the whole number and the mixed number, or you decompose the mixed number and make a whole number and a fraction. So I'm going to show you both. I want you to do both, but then for tonight, you can choose whichever one works for you. So the first one I'm going to do, that I want you to do as well, is the Dorito method. Okay? So with the Dorito method, you take your mixed number and you change them into improper fractions, right? So I start at my 8 and I go up and multiply. So 8 times 1 is 8. Then I do my other corner of my chip and I add. 8 plus 4 is what? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My denominator stays the same, so now I have 12 over 8. That's my first improper fraction. Now I need to add my other mixed number, so I need to decompose it, break it down, and use my Dorito method. So I'm going to do 8 times 1, which is 8, plus 1, which is 9. So now I have 9 over 8. Okay? Then I need to add a cross. So I need to do 12 plus 9. Well, 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. I have 21 over 8. Now I know when I have an improper fraction and I started with mixed numbers, I need to change this back into a mixed number. So what do I do when my numerator is bigger than my denominator? What do I have to draw? My area model. Good. So I'm going to take, I need to draw a hole with 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to shade in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I get to 21? Nope, I'm only at 8. So I need to draw another one. And the numbers I'm writing is the same thing as shading it. It's just a little easier for me to write the numbers instead of shading and then writing. So you can decide whatever works for you, but these just mean that the boxes are shaded. Okay? So I need to draw another hole broken into 8 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to color in 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Am I at 21 yet? Nope, I'm close. I gotta draw one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm on 16 shaded, so I have 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, I've shaded my 21. Now, in order to get my mixed number, I need to count how many are shaded. So this is a hole, right? 8 over 8. Here's another hole, 8 over 8. So now these are 2. How many are shaded here? Well, I know I have, my bottom is 8, my denominator is 8. My numerator is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is 2 and 5/8. So that's one way to solve it using the Dorito method. Now let's do our commutative property of addition. So I'm going to flip it over. If you have enough space, keep it there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do it the other way. So we have 1 and 4/8 that needs to be added to 1 and 1/8. So what I need to do is decompose my mixed number. So I need to do 1 plus 4/8 and then 1 plus 1/8. Now I need to group my what? I need to group my whole numbers together and my fractions together. So now I'm going to do 1 plus 1 and then 4/8 plus 1/8. Okay, then I'm going to do my commutative property of addition. I have a 2. I add only my numerators because my denominators are the same. Okay, so I do 5/8, then I combined, and my number is 2 and 5/8. Okay, so this is my commutative property of addition. So there's 2 ways to tackle it. Whichever one works for you, do that. Okay, so I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to give you one tonight. You can choose either way to tackle the word problem. Okay, remember, first thing I want you to do is read through, use your cube strategy, figure out what you need to circle, underline, and box, and then do your T-chart to figure out what you know, and then decide how you're going to tackle your equation. You can do changing them into improper fraction using the Dorito method, or you can do your commutative property of addition. Okay?